Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Qualified Podcast. With me today, I have Justin Hendrix, and he is going to be sharing his story and his business, Crystal Breeze Cleaning. Justin, thank you for joining me and taking the time to share your story with everyone.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, background stuff. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? All that.
I'm born in New York, raised in New York as well. I lived there my whole life, so just been in the region.
And when you were younger, what was your goal for growing up? What any aspirations, whether sports, academics, business? Did you know like when you were a kid that you wanted to just jump into business?
I did. Essentially, our family's always been running businesses, so I've always been in that area of creating your own job opportunities and your own ways to be successful in life. So outside of like having my normal job, I always ventured into different business aspects just because I've always been around it.
And you mentioned family has been in business. What family members have kind of guided you through your business here and any other business you had before or have alongside this?
My father, he has a parts company where he distributes parts to like local body shops in the area. From outside of that, we've had other businesses as well. We're like a mobile game truck where we do parties for like kids, block parties, schools, like YMCA, different type of events. So I've always been around making a business, marketing it, and just doing all the steps to ensure it's working.
So your experience growing up has just always been business, no matter if you wanted to or not, with your family owning multiple businesses. Did you go to school for business after high school, or
I
did you
didn't
just
just because I feel like you don't need a degree to do business. Essentially, you do it. You don't need a degree. So I went to school for something else that's unrelated, just so I could have funds available to do business. But just for the business aspect, I'm a strong believer of you just do business. You don't study business. You can study obviously how to have a successful business, but you don't need a degree to create a business.
absolutely? So when did you start Crystal Breeze? What's the lowdown on that?
I did a soft launch last year in March just to see if there was a proof in the setup. So I had booking koala, I created the business, Google My Business page, and did a light website to see if there was something here. The idea for that was because we had cleaners and they were doing all of our houses. Just off of our one family, we gave them 3 monthly jobs. So I didn't realize the scalability of it. So I started in March and I've been doing it ever since. Then I did more of a hard launch in June of last year, and then just been doing it ever since.
Is your business in New York as well?
Yes, right now we're just focused primarily on New York just because I'm here. I can manage a worst case scenario because there obviously are times where people call out where I have to find ways to find solutions, and it's easier if you're in the region. So in the beginning, I was doing the cleanings myself just to get an idea of like what could go wrong, what could happen to keep the profits more in house, just because I was still doing a proof of success.
Sure. And are you in New York City itself or the suburbs around it?
I'm like on the border of Queens and Long Island. Initially, I was doing jobs just in this region, just in case, worst case scenario, I have someone call out. I'm within like a drivable area where I can find a solution myself. Manhattan was just a little farther, so it wasn't worth the hassle. Now I am doing Manhattan because we're expanding, but in the beginning, primarily.
And inspiration to start it was just, get a business off the ground and, your cleaners that you said you had cleaning for you guys?
Yeah, we had cleaners for our personal residence, and they did like our house, our aunt's house, grandma's house. So just off of like one family, it branched off of like they had 3 jobs monthly. So I just realized the scalability of that and saw there was an aspect of where I can create a business there and have something successful.
Do you remember how much you invested when you first started?
Very little because I had the booking quality it's not too much. It's just the monthly fee. I had someone design a website, which is essentially probably the biggest fee. It must have been like 450. Obviously, something in initially, and then cleaning supplies from there. So cleaning supplies aren't going to cost that much. We already had a vacuum at the house. We had a few stuff, obviously. So everything else you could pretty much get like for $1, $2. So I would say initially with cleaning supplies, I would say $40, $50, and then outside of that, you just got to license your business and those type of fees, get a phone. So I would say all in total, 800 around to start up.
Under a for sure.
Yes.
What have been some of the challenges that you've faced in the last year and a half being a business owner, especially in the cleaning space?
The biggest ones are, I guess, in this one, getting new clients. If you know how to do that successfully, though, that's not really a problem because there's many different ways to get new clients. But I guess initially, when you don't have any clients and you have bills coming every month, such as the phone bill, ad bill, those things add up if you're not bringing in revenue. Another issue that also is prevalent now that we're growing You have to do constant hiring because you're obviously going to have an overturn of new staff, old staff leaving, and then constantly having new people to fill in the gaps, especially for different areas. Because obviously, we do all of New York. Someone that lives 100 miles from the opposite direction won't be able to help you in that region. So you need people for region specific work as well.
You're in a huge market, one of, if not the biggest in the US, right? With New York City. How are you staying different from your competitors, especially now when, tech is everywhere and seems like everybody's got their Google business page set up properly and, running back end stuff with softwares like Booking Koala. So how are you staying ahead of that?
I think especially in this, I guess niche of work, so the cleaning work and other service-based industries, the main thing is marketing. I feel like you really have to do anything different than other people. You just have to be able to market yourself the best. So it's just getting new clients and learning how to like successfully run ads, successfully have a nice website, having a good sales pitch when you're on the phone. Because people want you to sound like you are well versed in what you're talking about. So if you have a good conversation with them when you're on the phone, and getting them on the phone, and then also even if you don't book it on the phone call, following up to see a week later, 2 weeks later, a month later, if that person that you spoke to would then want to become a client. Because the biggest expense in this industry, especially, should be ads. So it's making sure you're not losing money from potential clients.
The last year and a half, have you had to make a tough decision that's made a lasting impact on the business?
Not really. No tough decisions because I have a lot of experience with marketing and sales because I was doing sales calls from like 2017, 2015. We had the family business where we had to deal with incoming sales calls, create invoices, do Google ads. So a lot of that I already had the experience from that business because we're still, my father does that business on a daily basis. He does the two businesses, so he doesn't really work for anyone. So it's constantly dealing with ads, marketing, sales, incoming sales calls. There's no real difficult decisions. The only thing I may be difficult is creating a pricing structure or who to hire, who to send to specific jobs. So dealing with your staff allocation, I guess.
Sure. And, your dad's running two businesses. Is he one to help you prioritize and manage your time as a business owner? Because one is hard enough, and then he's got multiple, right? So, how are you prioritizing and managing your time with trying to scale with marketing and running back end ops?
I'm trying to outsource more. So now, in the beginning, I was doing everything. Even with him, I was still doing his like Google ads, a lot of the help with him on the back end stuff. So now I'm trying to outsource more of the stuff. And we do have someone doing Google ads, I have someone doing the Facebook ads, I have someone now doing website design, updating it. Because initially I just slapped together a website real quick just to see if there's proof in the work. Now I'm focusing more on like getting SEO or getting traffic. I think those things help with getting more leads through like Google ads, LSA. They rank you higher. So now I'm putting more specialist in certain areas, so it takes stuff off of my plate.
That's a big help. Leadership style with bringing people in. What's your leadership style like?
I essentially delegate, so I have a wife. Wife, she'll speak. A lot of the workers in New York speak Spanish. I'm very little. I don't speak much Spanish, so she'll like contact with them. It's a big help if you do know that because we go through a lot of the hiring. I'll speak to majority of them. She'll speak to the ones that I obviously can't speak with, but she'll delegate a lot of the office tasks to her. So she'll do the outreach to seeing who wants to do this job, if they want to work, quality control and stuff like that.
If company culture is huge, you got your wife working with you. How do you keep and manage that positive culture with everybody?
It's very difficult. When you are the one, I guess, making the decisions, there's friction. Because obviously someone has to make the decision. If there's disagreements, it just is what it is. We'll talk about it, but obviously sometimes there's going to be disagreements, and you have to just understand that. There's two of us. One of us has to, make a decision and just get past it.
Yeah, setbacks and failures happen in business. How do you handle those in a day to day life?
That's constant. I guess in this industry as well, we're always losing clients, we're always gaining clients. Um, we just have to just move on, see where we have areas of improvement. If it was like a customer communication problem, was it quality control problem, and just take the feedback to improve your future jobs down the line. Because as you continue to grow, now everything's more hands off. So we're not going to every single job. But now it's more we're setting our staff the jobs to now the quality control. You have to make sure there's quality control, make sure your staff is doing good work and talking to the people as good as well. And there's good customer communication. Come on, cut.
Working with your wife, running a business. how hard is it to keep that healthy work life balance when, issues come up or decisions need to be made and you guys disagree? And even besides that, it just when to turn off business mode and just be in like home mode. How hard is that for you?
I feel like to be a successful, like if you want to keep growing, there's no like turn off. So, like there's different. I'm a strong leader of like after like say hypothetically 6 p.m. most people stop answering phones. I put mine on for 24 hours because the gap between like 6 p.m. is like 9 p.m., 7 p.m. The ads are much cheaper. There's less competition. So if I'm home doing nothing, I might as well just do a quick sales call. It's not very often you get one, but those time periods where you get like very easy um, customers per se.
And keeping your motivation and that drive going, what's that for you?
I'm just having to see the business grow because obviously we went from June or March to $0 to now we're doing way past that. It's just seeing the monthly growth and seeing how like your work is being improving upon the business and it's actually growing.
So just a dollar amount. For you, it's just seeing the growth and just keeping it going is what gets you up every morning.
Yes, absolutely.
Balancing short-term goals, long-term vision. What's the strategy there?
I'm pretty efficient in my methodologies because my background is as an engineer. So I like to balance out our short term view versus our long term view. So a lot of times, like say for instance, a short term goal versus long term goal would be like our pricing. Maybe short term, if we lowered pricing, we'll see a lot more customers, but then down the line, we're getting less per client. So that could be like, I guess, short term versus long term goal. But it's always important to see the put the pros and cons versus short term versus long term goals. It's going to affect you as a company, of course.
Important life lessons. Have you learned anything life-changing in the last year and a half from this business, or just like micro lessons throughout the weeks?
I would say micro lessons just because I have experience in this. So I'm pretty good at marketing and I guess sales just from my previous ventures. So everything's been like a lesson. So like something I may not have encountered before. Now it's would be a micro lesson. It's a little micro lesson along the way that help you improve upon your business.
And what would your approach to decision making be and problem solving?
Obviously you got to break down the problem and just see what weigh the pros, cons, and different variables you have. So if there's like 5 different options you could do, just weigh them all down and see which one will give us the best benefit as a company and which one is necessarily less headaches, because there's a lot of headaches that come in from day to day because we're doing like 100 to 150 clients monthly, so you want to help make it an easier process month to month to be able to scalability. Because once you get to a certain point, you want to scale it because before it was just to see we get revenue. Now that we get revenue, we want to scale it to a certain point. In order to scale it, you can't do everything. I'm sure once we get to like right now we're at like I'll say 120 clients a month. If we get to a point where we're at 1,000, I can't be necessarily the only person doing things. So it's the outlook of like growing and seeing what we need to do to scale at those points.
What would you say the hardest change or transition has been for you in the last 6 months to a year?
In the last 6 months to a year, I'm at the point where I believe in my quality work, so I can know if I'm at the center of every problem, I could efficiently make a decision, the best for that decision. But now we're at the point where I can't necessarily put my hand in every single pot that we're dealing with. So being able to have reliable people in those certain areas so they can make good decisions, and even if they can't make a good decision, know when to relay back to me about what needs to change.
Side of things. Do you have any office staff?
It's just me and my wife. Everything else is the cleaning staff. I am trying to bring in a VA just to help with dealing with incoming leads and trying to expand upon in certain areas, but for the most part, just us two
And do you have contractors or employees?
contractors.
And how many do you have in total?
It varies because obviously they're contractors, and it varies by region because obviously we have like many different regions. So Brooklyn is far from like Long Island, and Long Island has like 2 to 3. It's huge. So from one end to next end might be like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then you need people for those different areas. I would say it varies between like 15 options. We want as many options as possible. Just so if we have a job, we can't say no. We have like 5 people we can go to say, "Are you available? Are you available? Are you available? Are you available?" So we try to get as many as possible on standby, just so we are never turning it down a dollar.
So at the top end, when you're busiest, what would you say? 15 to 20?
Actively working versus on standby is different. So I'd say actively working maybe like 5 a week, but then we have like 15 on standby in case like a job comes in. Because we do like 3. It depends on the day. Obviously on a Friday we might have like 6, 7 jobs, and we're on that specific day we might need 4. 5 people, depending on the job length, the location. And another day we might just have 3, which might be 3 separate people, or it might be one person that can handle all 3, depending on the time frame. Like sometimes it might be like a 9 to 12, a 9 to job, a 9 to like 10 job, and then there's a job from like 12 to 2 where someone could do both of those. But other times like 5 jobs at 9 a.m. where we need other individuals.
Where do you primarily focus on hiring?
Primarily right now is in the areas farthest from us because we wouldn't be able to deal with that in like short notice. So we're hiring like in the Brooklyn region and the farther Long Island region because now we're doing it for a while. We already have people, able people from like doing this for a year and a half. So we have like a whole list of people that we can go to. So it's more of those farther regions we're now expanding into, where we need to constantly get more hiring staff because only having 1 or 2 people is very you're reliant on them. So if hypothetically they leave, call out, move, be short staffed in that area. So those are the areas we're focusing on. So like Manhattan and the far Long Island region.
What about like where do you find them? Like Facebook groups, Indeed.
A mix of everything. Indeed, we do it as well. Indeed, you pay for it, of course. Obviously, there's Facebook. You put a Facebook post out and like certain forums. Next door, a lot of individual cleaners post in there as well. Other avenue we look at. Sometimes we may just call other like smaller startups, individual people, because that could be a potential person to hire as a contractor. So those are the ways we pretty much do it.
Do you utilize the hiring portion inside your booking qual account?
I don't use the hiring portion.
Process. What does that look like start to finish?
So initially, if it was through Indeed, they get the submit the resume. We go through all the resumes who has similar experiences that we're looking for. So cleaning experience, hotel staff, something along those lines, where they were coming from a job as a background as a cleaner. Once we do that, we do an initial outreach message saying, "Hey, you're interested." We then ask them the obvious questions: Can you drive? Can you get to the job if you can't drive? Are you leaving out of work? Experience? All those questions. See if they check the boxes. We would then see their availability and then after internal discussion, see if they're a good fit to work. What we do is we also try to have them work with our main staff first, look at the quality control, and just, I guess, talk to them, make sure they have good experience and good procedures to work for other clients and then send them off. So they'll work with us for one job in collaboration. And after that, we'll send them out after doing all the checks we have to do for this company.
And you do background checks. Do you do a test clean on any home, whether it's yours or parents,
Yeah, that's why
grandparents?
we work in collaboration on one job, just so we can check the quality of the work. So we'll have like somewhere nearby where we can go in, spot check, make sure it's good quality.
And what would an automatic red flag on an application look like to you?
No experience, essentially, no availability. I've had some people apply for a job and say I can only work like 2 days a week after 7 p.m. And then, so no experience, availability, getting jobs by themselves, having their own equipment, obviously they're contractors, being responsive, available, things like that.
Flip side to that, ideal candidate. What do they look like?
Ideal candidate has a lot of experience. They've been working in the area for quite some time. So a lot of experience cleaning. Majority of the people we have right now have been cleaning for years. Their experience has been like cleaning for like 6 years, 7 years, doing it on their own. A lot of people just don't have the marketing skills to get more jobs. They have the necessary skills. They just are lacking jobs. So that's the ideal person we're looking for. Someone who is cleaning already, just no clients, essentially.
Are you always hiring or do you pause and hire when you need?
I pause. Usually it's always hiring, but recently, last 2 months, we've done like such a good job of like getting enough people that we were like sandstone, no problems. Now we may have to start it up to get like 1 or 2 people in select areas, but ideally you'd want to do a constant hiring process. But in our case, there was no need and we had enough, more than sufficient like staff in every area. So no problem.
With marketing, what are you currently doing for marketing?
So I do a few things. Google ads, Facebook ads. I'm doing LSA ads, a little more expensive, but it's a guaranteed person calling for a cleaning. For LSA, obviously we just have an inbound call. We talk to them on the phone and try to book the job. I try to book them at least at like 50% rate. So if I get 2 LSA jobs, I'll try to book half of them or a third of them to get a good return on investment. For the Google ads and the Facebook ads, Google ads right now directs them to the website. It also does a phone call if they're interested. So I could then track with the reports, see if they made a phone call to see how much money I'm spending per phone call. And then with the Facebook ads, run Facebook ads on Facebook. They fill out a form saying if they're interested. There's a discount. It says $50 off. Deep cleaning, 50% off recurring. If you're interested, fill out this form. They fill out the form. We then send them an automated message. Initially, it immediately tries to capture that lead because they were interested. So they'll get a text message and then I'll get a notification on my phone to give them a call. So I'll wait like a minute or two, give them a call and try to convert the customer, convert the lead to a customer.
What's one of the most successful campaigns that you've run?
They're all successful. Otherwise, I wouldn't be running them. I would just stop it and just put my money to a separate one. Facebook has a good return on investment. A lot of them come to Facebook. LSA, good return on investment. It just costs more. So for LSA, I'm spending like 4,000 a month. Google, I'm spending around um, 2,500, 3,000 a month. And then Google, now that I have a Google Ads team, they're actively managing it. I'm spending like $20 a day now so they can get more research to try to see if they can improve upon that one. And if they do a good job there, I'll also ask them to then move over to Facebook as well, see if they can help with the percentages. So now I'm at the point where a move of like 10% efficiency is a lot of revenue. In the beginning stages, 10% isn't too much, but now it's like if they could even help with a few percentages of increasing revenue, it's massive.
Absolutely. And how are you leveraging data in your decision making?
I don't really look into analytics too much outside of the ones that are pre-generated in Google or Facebook. And LSA, if it wasn't profitable, I would then go more in depth in those areas. But since all three of those marketing schemes are very evidently leading to a good ROI, it's like not worth my time when I'm so like I have too many things to deal with currently. But obviously, I'll look into Google Ads reports and see if I spent X amount of dollars, how many phone calls I got from that, and then just cross reference to see if they actually became a customer.
It's good not to overthink and overlook into data because you could be looking at 100 different points. And if a few are off dramatically that don't necessarily do much, and you're so deep into that, you could throw off your ad campaign completely by making tweaks that or pointless kind of data points. So you're just looking overview and making tweaks off of that, which is a good way to handle things. Industry trends, how do you stay updated and kind of make sure you're in the know with that stuff?
In this niche specifically, there's not much trends that'll change. There are obviously other competitors. Every other person calls about like Home Glow. I have to tell them it's not a very good company. A lot of people are no shows. They just pick people random off the street to come clean your house. Not really much background checks. So that's the only thing I would say with industry trends because they're like they're advertising a lot. So in New York specifically, a lot of people when you're running like Google ad campaign, they'll see yours and be like, oh, talk about just they'll bring up that company specifically. They'll just helping them to know the differences that we're more like an established quality control, better company, no hidden fees essentially, and just
Family run.
family run. Yeah, they do love that point. If you are family run, that's an amazing point to run on. Like you'll book a lot of customers just because off the family run. It's family business. Whenever you call, I'll pick up the phone. You know,
Family run stateside. You'd be surprised with how far that alone will go with landing customers. Networking events. Do you do any networking yourself with other business owners or do you go to events?
no events. I do want to get more into that. I'm trying to look how to get more cleaning contracts. I don't know how to get that in New York. I've been looking on all like the contract databases. I haven't really seen much pop up for our specific regions. Trying to network more with that. Other networking opportunities would be I do work alongside other cleaning companies. A few of them do use, I think, Book and Koala, if I'm not mistaken. Like two or three of them contacted me, like say if they're short staff for me to have the jobs, some type of partnership like that, and we'll just bounce off ideas in the past. But yeah, I'm trying to network more in the future. I do go to buildings sometimes, see if they need cleanings, tenant turnovers, property management companies, real estate companies, networking that aspect because they do have a large influx of like new homeowners that would need cleanings, and they're also more higher spenders if they're buying houses, bigger homes. So there's different clientele, of course, because Brooklyn, a one studio apartment versus a 5 bedroom house over in a different area are two different types of customers. One's going to spend more throughout their life and even on a per appointment basis.
For sure. What do you do to enhance customer loyalty and generate repeat business?
I send out automated messages. So I have like for our marketing scheme, all of our customers that book come into a portal. All the leads we get from Google, LSA, and Facebook come into a portal. Then we just tag them correctly. So I have like a whole cleaning automation I do. So like I said, when we first get a new lead, we message them. If they don't pick up the phone, when I call them, we'll then move them to a separate pipeline where then we will message them again and say, hey, you just missed our call. If you're still interested in a clean, just give us a call back. It'll wait some time and then it begins to nurture the lead. So then we try to nurture every lead. So different leads are in different phases. So I have the new leads go to no answer. We nurture them, try to see if they'll ever answer. Um, Eventually, I hypothetically say they answered at some point, even in the initial one or from the no answer messages. We'll then give them a quote. Once they're quoted, we'll give them a reminder the day after, then like 4 days after, then like a week after. After a certain point, we're not going to bug them about the quote. We'll just say, oh, if you're interested, let us know. And then we'll message them like once a month saying, oh, I do need cleaning. It's been some time and throw out a promotion or something along those lines.
And what role does social media play in your marketing efforts?
I'm trying to build upon that. We do have an Instagram. We do get some leads here and there, not that many for us to really want to focus on that area. But of course, you should focus on every area. So I do plan on like bringing on someone to just focus primarily on like Instagram because we can outsource all of them. We use like services like Upwork to find people to outsource them to. So I might look into having someone focus primarily just on the Instagram so we can focus more on like the money making tasks.
Strategy for managing growth. How do you approach that? And what's your strategy?
At this point, there's only real two bottlenecks, I guess, in this industry is getting the leads and having staff to satisfy the customers. With the new leads, it's just running more money on ads since we're already profitable. I don't put any money back into the business, like myself. All of it, like business funds. So I can run as much ads as I want, essentially. It would just be having enough staff to then take over those jobs. So those are the two aspects we try to focus on for growth.
With issues always come up some point or another. How do you handle those issues, complaints from customers, and just make sure to smooth it over as quick as possible?
We tried to just address the concerns. So if a spot was missed, we'll try to address it. I try to be very thorough in the quote so they can see like a detailed breakdown of what include in quotes. But people still, even if you put it in writing, they're gonna get confused and get mad. So we're just trying to have as much communication you can with the client. If it's our fault, try to give them a discount or try to give them a way to fix their problem and just go from there. Essentially, that's pretty much two ways to try to fix the problems.
Have you had anything major come up with a customer that you had to fix or smooth over?
Major, they come up from time to time. Like some people, they have a cleaning, they'll lose an item and then start accusing people. Then they'll find it like sometime afterward. There's a lot of stuff come up in this industry just because anyone can get a house cleaning. So you're getting high tier clients, you're getting low tier clients, and there's like so much abundance that people are constantly turning over who they're using. So a bunch of like problems, like missing in spots. So go touch it up. But major problems, I would just say like stuff like that, like people just misplacing stuff, wanting assistance, finding where it is in the house, and things along those lines. So just people demanding discounts because, like, say you clean a whole house, it's like 4,000 square feet, but like one corner was missed, they'll like demand the world just because that one spot would be missing, you know?
Sometimes those are customers that you're okay with, after that moving on from, especially if it's like the first one or two cleanings in the beginning and you realize that this might be a recurring theme with them. You rather not have them as a customer and not deal with those headaches, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of the customers normally just get like a random small cleaner, not paying taxes, not paying insurance, and like they'll be paying such a much smaller amount just because this is just a person coming and you give them cash. So a lot of those clients are in New York and they'll demand like the world for a little bit amount of money because they said they had someone else doing it for this X amount, you know?
Definitely. And have you ever had an instance where something went missing and you had to reimburse the customer and then they find it later?
Thankfully, no, they found it. Then has been like obviously we have trusted staff after a long time and haven't had someone like that on our staff, luckily, but nothing major of that sort. Obviously, that might happen just because you go inside everyone's room. It's a staff, you know. You don't want it to happen, but you can't control every staff. So I'm sure a cleaning company somewhere has had this occur.
Sure. Revenue and money side of things. How much revenue have you done in total since you started?
So for the first year when we started from 2014 in 2024, the first year we did 100,000. And then, so this year we're currently at year to date is one moment. Our year to date is 71,000 from year to date for projected to do a lot more than previously. It's
So
not
in total,
apologies. This is from June, so halfway mark. So from June, this is 71,000. My bookkeeper is updating it to pay taxes this weekend.
okay. So June till today is 71,000.
Yes.
So in total from January till now, you're well over double that, probably 140.
Yeah, I've had my best 2 months the previous month. So I'd say if I had a rough estimate year to date with updated numbers, so that'd be July, August, then part of September, I would say that'd be an initial 8,000. So I might be like 140,000 year to date, 150,000 somewhere there.
But 250 in total since you started.
Yes.
And what are you doing monthly? What was your best month?
My best month was from July. Um, there was a lot of work being done in the Hamptons. I had a customer that was using us every day, 5 days a week. And also a lot of like businesses that were just pretty much just solely in that period. So for July, I was doing 31,700.
Almost 32K. Very nice. And besides revenue, what metrics? Well, before that, what are you expected to close out the year?
On this pace, since I keep doing around at this point like 25 to 30, and so with three to more additional months, 75 additional to what I told you previously, so that was 160. That would be for 235, assuming no like going less and no improvements. But hopefully we improve slightly. But obviously our busy months from our last year and a half of operation has been the summer, so I would say around 235.
Very great. More than doubling your numbers year over year. Huge. Besides revenue, what metrics are you tracking to measure your success?
Besides revenue, I would say like how many clients we're doing monthly, and how many I guess commercial clients we have, because those are the best ones. Like, there's a few people we do every week, a few people we do every other week. So those are always like guaranteed, no real headache clients that we just continue to satisfy on a month to month basis.
And how do you approach your financial management and planning? You mentioned you had a bookkeeper. Um, let's talk a little bit about that.
I found someone because obviously here in the States it's a lot more expensive. My taxes yearly for myself and the business like 1,500. I found someone on Upwork. Right now, I'm using someone on Fiverr. I will find someone at Upwork, but he'll update my books for like $50 a month. So I just send him all of the statements for that month. He'll charge me $50. Once I do this sales process, this process for my sales tax that's due in like a few days, I'll then switch over to some probably like Upwork. Upwork, you find some like $8 an hour, $7 an hour, and they can just do like the minor edits because it's not much. It's like four documents I need. So there's like three pools of like bookkeeping. So there's my credit card, the bank account, and our Stripe because that's connected to Book and there's not much to update. It's just they just have to update it monthly for us. I really don't pay attention to the financial side just because I'm like it's very prevalent. We're making money, so it's not like I don't really have to dive into it too much. But now I'm probably going to just to try to get it a little more efficient, see where we can get like 10%, 20%, a little more efficient, and try to just maximize its profits. At this point, um, changing my 10 to 20% efficiency is a lot of money.
And what strategies do you use to manage risk and to make sure you're overall locked down in case something happens?
No problem. So to manage risk, essentially, is just there's not too much risk. I would say, just we just keep doing the same processes that are working, and just the only risk would be is increasing the amounts we're providing in those areas. So I guess risk could be spending more on Google ads, getting more LSA ads, spending more on the Facebook ads. And the risk could be we don't have the staff to accommodate them because a lot of times I'm not sure in other areas in our area as well. There's always calls like it'll be like 4 p.m. at night. Someone will call for like via ad, so it's a paid phone call. Someone I'm already spending like $30 to speak to. They're like, oh, it's 4 p.m. at night. Can someone come today? You know, so those are like certain like ways just burning money because at 4 p.m. at night, all my staff is either A at home, B on jobs, or C just doing something else, and it's already late.
And where do you see the business in the next 5 to 10 years?
I'm trying to grow the business to a certain point, just constantly just doing the same processes we're currently have in place and just trying to find out how we can outsource other things. Because I do have a lot of stuff I do on a day to day basis outside of like, because I also am an engineer on my like day to day. So I'll like manage both. So I'm trying to scale it to a point where I'm more like just people talk to me once a week and they can handle all the problems. And then we're constantly growing and growing. Ideally, maybe selling it in a few years. We'll see where we're at.
Is there a number you want to be at in 5 years, monthly or yearly?
Yearly, I would like to be at, so this year we almost doubled, or we should double. depending on projections. Hopefully, double again, if not by next year. So in 5 years, I'm just hoping for like a doubling effect. Obviously, you come to a point where you can't keep doubling. You're gonna get bottlenecks. So if I had to say like a 5 year projection, like 1 million, but obviously it's very aggressive. It's currently about 200. We should be at like 235,000. That like two doubling effects. That seems reasonable for a 5 year period.
Yeah, definitely more conservative. 5 years from now, you getting to the million, definitely doable, especially in a market like New York. Going to software side of things, what role does technology play in your day-to-day ops?
It pretty much helps with all the processes because technology is pretty much how you can like talk to so many clients at once. Then I like our software, we talk to everyone. I had like 3,000, 4,000 leads in there. I would not be able to contact them all if I had to do it manually myself. So this is why it's good to have like automations that if we have someone for so long, you send them a text message, and just having different automations so you don't have to manually do these things. Like for instance, with Book and Koala, just have the prices there, so I could just send the quotes easily to the people. I don't have to then go manually generate it in like a Word document and then type it out, put all the information, and then send it to them, and then remind them a week later, and then remind them another week later. So it pretty much helps automate the process, save your time, like little micro decisions. So every decision you do probably saves like 5, 10 minutes here and there. That gives you more time to do other things.
And how long have you been using Booking Koala? From the start, or did you try something else and come to us later on?
No, I used it from the start. It was when I was doing my research, it appeared to be the best software for service-based business, and you guys seem to have niched strongly on the cleaning aspect of it. I do see you guys have like other templates you have if people want to use it for like other aspects, but you guys seem like you primarily focus on cleaning, so that was the strong aspect I liked with Book and Koala.
That would be the main reason that drew you into it. Were there any features that popped out that made it be like, okay, this is the one over others?
I liked that. I didn't really do. I don't remember because I was a year and a half ago at this point. The features where you guys had the providers log in, see all the information, what it needs to be done, customizing different fields. So you could have like the deep cleaning versus standard cleaning versus other aspects. So those things what made me like it as well. Where I could send quotes and all that things. Everything was in one platform.
Speaking of features, what's one feature that you use daily and you couldn't live without?
Obviously, it'd be sending someone a quote and a booking feature, essentially. Just because we send so many quotes out, we use that to so they can see it initially, and then follow up with them. Once we send them also a quote, we do automated text message, and then after, like I said, we send them text messages until they book because we're paying for these leads essentially. So if the cost for costed us like $10, $30, $4 to have a conversation with them, it's an expensive customer. So you want to follow up with the customer. So things like that where we could follow up easily after making quotes.
Flip side of that question, what's one feature that's not currently in the system that you would like to have?
I guess the thing I use it on other places, SMS outreach because I have like different pipelines for customers. Say someone um, we import at least one of the places. So we have like leads from like Google that automatically get imported. We have leads from like Facebook that automatically get imported, and then we have conversations with them on that platform. You really can't have conversations with like customers on Book and Koala. So say for someone message us about they want to set up a cleaning. I if they had like somewhere I could have a conversation with them and have our text message here and there, and then organize our leads on Book and Koala.
And final question, if you could go back and talk to your 10-year-old self, what advice are you giving him?
Just probably start this earlier. The best way to start a business is the earlier because then you grow later on. So if I would have started this years ago, I'd already be at the 5 year mark I already wanted. So you got to start earlier, not just keep prolonging things. If you want to do something to do it.
Absolutely. Justin, thank you so much for taking the time today and sharing your story with us, sharing your business, your background, everything. Truly appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And everybody, till next time, this was another episode of the Qualified Podcast.